we have Ms.Smrithy Rajesh with us. She is a parent herself, also a special educator. She's done her post-graduation in mathematics and she's pursuing her post-graduation in psychology. She is also working as a special education consultant and giving training and home program to parents of children with autism. She has instrumented the use of AACs, rightly called as augmentative alternative communication techniques, and pioneered the customization of Awaz India, that is the app for communication for children who are nonverbal. She has built the communication system and customized it for her son herself, and her son has also got many glories with respect to roller skating. At the state level, gold medal he's got. And even Smriti Rajesh madam herself has lot many recognitions. I would just like to read out very quickly. Smriti Rajesh is a recipient of multiple awards recognizing her efforts as a parent. She was recently acknowledged by one special place who gave her a special award in recognition for her dedication as a mother. She has appeared in several interviews and most recently a French television channel telecast her story of grit and strength in multiple languages. She also has received the Best Teacher Award from the Lions Club International 2018. I'm sure Ms. Smriti Rajesh is definitely going to do a lot of justice to our topic, that is use of AACs for nonverbal children with special needs. Over to you, madam. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Is it audible?
Yes, madam, you are quite audible.
Okay, thank you. So good evening all. I'm Smriti. I'm a parent of a child who diagnosed with autism. After his diagnosis, I did special education. Now I'm helping my son and other children and families touched by autism. So last 9 to 10 years, I'm working in this field. I created a channel, a YouTube channel and a blog to share how we can train these children in the home environment. Because I always believe that mother is the best therapist and love is the best teaching method. That's what I learned from my experience. So after seeing remarkable improvements in my son, I started sharing it. It's not so professionally made and all. It's in the real environment, how we can train these children. That's what I'm sharing, including in all areas of learning, language skills, communication skills, different physical activities, academics. In all that things, you can see videos in my channel. And today I'm here to present about how we can build communication skills for children with ASD. So always when we are talking about communication skill, people will think it's only for nonverbal children. Actually here for nonverbal children and for verbal children, because here all of our children who have the diagnosis of ASD is struggling to communicate. So AAC is a system that really helps for both verbal and nonverbal children. So I'm coming to the topic now. So we will start with a small introduction about autism. As a parent, these are the very important things we have to understand about autism. There are many researchers, there are many studies related to autism, but as a parent, some information that is very important to understand. One thing is autism is a very complex neurological disorder. And most of the time we will see the changes in our children between the ages of 1.5 and 2 years. Till that, all the motor milestones, everything will be fine. And after 2 o'clock, after 1.5 and 2 years only, we will notice the changes. And mainly, yes, it is called an autism spectrum disorder because here there are many symptoms when it comes to sensory processing dysfunction, that also there. So combinedly, there will be many features that may be differ from each child to child. But if a child got the diagnosis of autism, means that child have inability to communicate. That is the very difficult that is a very difficult thing that we can watch in that child. The child will be facing lots of difficulties to communicate. I like that, difficulty in social interaction and some repetitive behaviors. These are called the triads of autism. So when if a child is getting the diagnosis of autism, means the child is facing difficulties in communication and difficulty in social interaction, and we can see that there will be some repetitive behaviors for that child. These three things will be common for all our children who has autism. And each child has their own strengths and their own difficulties too. And one more important thing as a parent, we have to understand is autism is not a disease, it is a disorder. That understanding will really help us to accept the child the way how they are. As before we were listening to that doctor, how he was explaining about all that things. Yes, from my journey, that's what I understood. Earlier, I was not aware about autism, and that was a very difficult time in my life, and I was trying to cure autism. But after doing the special education, I got more clear idea about it. And then I understood that autism is not a disease to cure, it is a disorder. And so the intervention programs and the proper training will help the child to lead an independent life and will help the child to communicate properly, to interact properly, to learn various skills. That is where we have to focus. And that is then my life changed and I started focusing in the intervention program. So that's an important message I want to share it to all the parents. Accept and understand autism. When you are able to accept your child the way how they are, from there your life will be happy, you will be more peaceful, you won't try to stop anything. As I told, there may be repetitive behaviors, but we can change that repetitive behaviors into some meaningful skills. As when doctor was introducing myself, he was telling about the roller skating. My son's hyperactivity only I changed into the roller skating, and the result he won the medals. And my son's stimming with long thread, I changed into jewelry making, and now he is happily making jewelry. And he has his own, as an entrepreneur, a small entrepreneur, he is doing all that things and learning many skills related to life skills. So in all these we have opportunities, and we can train our children to learn various skills. That's what I understood from my journey. Yes, now we will move to what is AAC and why it is important for children with autism. So as I started about discussing about autism, difficulties with language and communication are a key feature in the discussion of autism. Without working on communication skills, we are not going to achieve anything from our children, because that is something really important. And here, some of the children are verbal, some of the children are non-verbal. But according to my understanding, both children are struggling to communicate. For example, a verbal child can sing their favorite rhymes, can talk about their favorite activity, but when it is a time to ask for something or to express something, they will struggle to use that particular word in that moment. So that is the situation most of our children are facing. That is why it is very important to provide an alternate method for communication. Here, most of our children are visual learners, or some of them are auditory learners. So how we can provide an alternate method for communication? So here we are discussing in detail about this AACs. AAC means augmentative and alternative communication. So as AAC include all forms of communication other than oral speech. And we all know that we all are communicating using lots of nonverbal gestures and verbal gestures that we were just discussing about it. That is true. So we are using a lot of nonverbal gestures also, but when it comes to parents, always we will worry about why the child is not talking, while the child is not talking. Initially, always the focus will go to only the talking part, that means only speech. But unfortunately, most people won't think about the difference between the communication and speech. So it is actually language, communication, and speech. These three things we have to work separately for a child with autism. Uh, Communication is something we can use with the pictures or apps or something like that. So AAC systems are categorized into unaided and aided systems, and unaided AAC include facilitated communication and sign language. Facilitated communication is something a facilitator will help the child to communicate. For example, typing. Typing is an example for a facilitated communication when the child is able to type with the help of the therapist or with the help of the mother. Mother or therapist is giving some prompts to type to communicate, and the child is communicating. So in this method of communication, there are chances for the children to get dependent on the therapist or on the mother. And the generalization, if you are not working on the generalization and the prompt fading properly, the child can communicate only with that facilitator and with that mother. That is the problem with the facilitated communication. So if you are using facilitated communication, you should be very careful for doing the proper prompt fading techniques and to train the child to initiate the communication. And sign language. Sign language is something for our children. Actually, for children with autism, they have lots of motor issues also. So imitation, doing all the signs is not possible for our children. They have lots of imitation issues also. So what we will train for our children is signs that is very easy for our children. We will train that child. For milk, they may be doing this. For water, they may be doing this, like that, something that the child is able to do. But the problem with that sign language is everyone may not be able to understand what the child is communicating. So the mother who is training the child and the therapist who is training the child may be able to understand, but the other people may not be able to understand. So according to me, that is also not a generalized form of communication, because as a mother, my worry was, in my absence, how my son will communicate. Because I can understand all his, or if he is crying, a particular cry, I can differentiate, now he is hungry. If he is crying, I can differentiate, now he has some pain. Everything I can understand as a mother. That is the connection between a mother and a child. But in my absence, how he will communicate and how his needs will get addressed. So I also started with sign language, but from my experience, I understood that other people are not able to understand his signs, and then he is getting more frustrated. So these two are not very commonly used AACs for children with autism. And then it comes to aided AAC that include picture exchange communication system and any apps, speech generating apps. So picture exchange communication system is something that is commonly used in most of the special school. You can, or in most of the speech therapists, you can see the picture exchange communication system. So we will come to that in little details. And before that, I would like to talk about difference between communication and speech. A very important fact that each parent should understand. So speech is something, the production of sounds. So, and with the help of the signals that we are receiving. So now I know that I'm sitting in front of this and I'm supposed to talk about this, and I'm getting the right words. I'm able to do that. Then only I'm able to talk meaningfully. Communication is something that is, if I want to ask something, when I have to ask and what I have to ask. And speech is, and when we are looking into our childhood days, how we are learning our language, how we started talking, we were repeating our parents' words. We were imitating our parents. We were understanding from the environment, and we started. That's all happened. No one was doing the step-by-step procedures to joining syllables or nothing. We were just imitating. But for children with autism, imitation, when we are coming to small children, we can see that imitation is something that is really hard for our child. So for a child, so how the imitation process should develop. it should start from gross motor imitation. That is why we are starting from gross motor imitation. For a child who don't have no eye contact, who is not connected to the environment, we are making the child in front of the chair and say la, say pa, say ma. Nothing is going to happen. The child will cry because there is no concept of imitation there. So first we have to start with gross motor imitation, then fine motor imitation, and by that time you can see that the child's eye contact, focus, attention, everything improved, and the child is ready to look at you. And then we can start with the oromotor imitation, and then we can see how the child is able to produce the sounds, make the words, or is there any other issues like apraxia. Like that, the speech production part should go. But so we are not going to wait till the child is ready to talk. Meanwhile, we have to work for building the language skills. In language part, it is coming receptive language and expressive language. Receptive language, we have to really work to build the receptive language. The child is verbal or non-verbal. In any case, if the child is verbal, we will do more labeling. If the child is non-verbal, we will do more identification. That is the only difference. But we will teach them about the common objects, about all the fruits, vehicles, vegetables, colors, shapes, and all categorizations. And then we will come to adjectives, and then we will come to prepositions. So like that, we will build the language. And in this process, the child's comprehension will also improve. And if the child had a good receptive language with proper comprehension, of course, you will get the proper expressive language. Before putting this, before working on this receptive language, if your child is verbal, and if you are always pushing your child to say this, say that, say this, the child will learn to simply repeat your words and sentences without understanding, and then that is called echolalia. And then you will get worried why he is not able to understand, because the problem is with the receptive language. So no need to worry about the talking part, don't need to stress the child for that. Really, they are struggling for that. You work on the receptive language, and then of course you will get the meaningful expressive language from the child. So as I told, speech we are going to like this, language we are going to like this. So what about communication? So communication also in the intervention program we started with the communication. So like that, with the help of a real professional, you have to work all these things together. Yes, now we will come to picture exchange communication system. Again, here we are going to teach the child to communicate. So if now I am going to discuss about picture exchange communication. Here, even though it is called text, sometimes we will use objects also, because there are some children, especially when it comes to young children, they may not be able to look into the picture. They may not be able to understand what that picture giving. So in that case, we have to. So if there is no eye contact and if there is no focus, then we will come to objects. How we will introduce this communication system to the child? What is the right procedure? How we can move forward? This is also very important to understand for a parent. It is not going to happen in a therapy center. It is not going to happen in a one-on-one session with a speech therapist or a special educator. But home is the right place to build communication skills. All our children are communicating. Yes, they told, but they are communicating in different ways. For example, if the child needs something, all our children have specific interest and they want that particular thing. They may be pulling our hands to that desired object, or they may be showing a tantrum to get things in their own way, or they may be throwing something, they may be slapping people to get attention. So these all are different forms of communication, but the problem is these all are inappropriate form of communication. And if you are giving all the things that your child needs, then also the child won't try to communicate, because all the needs are satisfied. So a stimulating environment to communicate, that is also important. Then only the child will try to communicate. But when the child is trying to communicate in their own way, by throwing things or by pulling things, at that moment, Don't give attention to the inappropriate behaviors. Don't ask what do you want. Don't ask why you did that. If you are doing that, you are giving attention to the inappropriate behaviors. Instead of that, at that moment, you provide your communication device to the child. You provide that thing and model and help the child how to pick and communicate with the communication partner. This is the right procedure we have to use in all opportunities. So if when you are observing a child, you will get lots of opportunities like this in a daytime, and you should use all these opportunities to use your communication system to the child, so that you are working instead of reinforcing your inappropriate behaviors. You are showing this is the appropriate way of communication. There is no point in asking why you are doing that, why you are doing this. What the child should do, that we should show them. No, then only they will be able to understand. Okay, this is the method. Then everyone is able to understand. Then it starts clicking and the method will start working. So this is one thing that is very important as a parent to understand. And when it comes to picture exchange communication system, as I told, we will, if the child is not able to understand the pictures, we will start with objects. For example, for water, we may take the small glass. For lunch time, we may take the small plate. Like that, we will keep with the box or something with all these objects with velcros. We will attach and we will keep, and we will train how to train a child to communicate. So if for example, I am using the objects with one child. So the child started pulling me to the kitchen and taking to the water can. So at that time, immediately I will take the communication system in front of the child, and if I'm introducing, I will introduce only two things. One, the water picture, and the other thing that the child that doesn't like that much. So that two choices I will provide. And if the third person is there, the third person can be a shadow to the child. Pick up this item, give it to the communication partner, and the partner is talking and giving that item. If there is no communication partner, we will help the child and will give it, oh, you want water, and then giving water. If it is picture or if it is object, this is the way we are working. So when the child is trying to communicate in that, so the child is initiated. This is very important. If you are working like this, then it will be always child initiated interaction. So if you are keeping, many parents told me that some therapist told them to keep a packet of biscuit in front of the child and then giving the picture, and then the child is exchanging and doing. I don't think that will help you to initiate the interaction. So initiate the communication. So as I explained like this in the real situation, if you are working, the child will start. So by practicing like this, then immediately the child will go to your system and will come and show. So this is what we are working through the picture exchange communication system. So and when you are preparing materials, there are many parents who used to tell that that is not helping with my son. You know why? Because the materials are not customized according to the kid's level of understanding. Here, each child is different. Some people need objects. Some children need big pictures. Some children can understand small pictures. Some children can understand symbols. But according to the kids' understanding, we have to select and make customized material for each child and work step by step. Of course, it will help your child to communicate. So that is very important. And preparing materials is very important. And prerequisite, as I told, if the child has no relation, that picture understanding is not there, you have to go to the object level. And parallelly, in your one-on-one session, you can work a lot in the object to picture matching, so that when you are doing a lot of object to picture matching, the child can understand that, okay, this object represents this picture, or this picture represents this object. So that when you are then you can move to the picture level. So while seeing the picture of an apple, the child know that, yes, that means I will get apple. So the child will come with the picture of an apple and you can give the apple. So if the child don't have the object to picture matching concept, first we have to work for that. And yes, if you started a communication system with a child, every family member should follow the same method. So if a mother is only doing picture exchange and a father and grandma is now also following when the child is crying and pushing, they are simply giving the things, then it is not going to help. All the family members should follow the same approach. Everyone, you people should sit together and should explain each other. In each situation, we have to do like this. Then only it is going to help our children to generalize it. And to prepare PECs, no need of any complex materials, only the printout or photos or something that. I have a link how I build communication skills, and if any of the participants interested, you can go through this link. I think the team members, anyone can share the link with interested parents. And yes, so I started with the PECs and we reached in the 4th phase of PECs. But some limitations I was facing. Yes, sometimes the picture will miss when we are, especially when we are outside, when we were going for traveling. Every time we have to use our communication system with our children. So it should be there with us. And sometimes we will miss the picture. So in a particular situation, the child will be looking for that picture and that is missing. That is one disadvantage I felt with the PECs. And also child's interest will also change, then you have to make it different pictures. So that is one thing I felt with the PECs. And I forgot to tell you one thing, that PECs is not only objects and pictures. When the child is moving to word level, it may be with words. When the child is moving to sentence level, it may be with sentences. So all these forms are included with PECs.
I guess, madam, your PPT has stopped working. I'm not able to see your screen. Sure.
Yeah. Now it is fine, no?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. Yeah. So that is about PECs, and now we will come to Aavas. Why I am presenting about Aavas is this is an app that I did for myself, and I did a lot of research in this, and that there are many apps available nowadays, and parents can take any apps that are comfortable for you. There is nothing related to specific to Aavas. I bought Aavas, and actually I attended a workshop about Aavas in my son's school, Bubble Center for Autism, and then I got some idea about Aavas. And then I took the free version is there for 7 days. Then I just took the free version, and I saw that, oh my God, it's not going to help my son because it has lots of symbols, and my son is not able, and at that time he is 5-year-old or 6 or 7, like he was small, and he is not in that level of understanding that symbols. Then I thought, why can't I do that the same way how I started with the PECs? How it will be if I'm trying with that? Then what I did is I just click all my PECs pictures and I put it into that and removed all the symbols, and then I gave it to my son and I showed him. And when he got that, when he asked for something, he was looking into my eyes and he was expressing his happiness. As I told, as a mother, that was touching my heart in that way, that he's so happy because he got a voice. He was struggling to join sounds. He was using some sounds. Everyone was pushing him to make words and all. But because of apraxia, he was really struggling at that time. I can feel that. Most of the time I was feeling that. And then I was thinking, why people are pushing him to talk? If he is ready to talk, he will talk. And when he got a voice, he was really happy. He was expressing that, now I got a voice. So that feeling, from that feeling, I thought that, yes, I'm going to work on this. Many people are telling, if we are using AAC, child won't talk. Doesn't matter, I'm going to work on this. My child is happy. I want something like this. Like that only, I started my journey with Aavas. So Aavas is mainly focusing the communication difficulties. and we have to buy, and the free version is available for 7 days. That is called Avas Lite, and you all can take and you all can go through that. And after that you have to buy. And now it is earlier it was available only in iPad. Now it is iPad and Android tablets. Now it is available in Android phones too. But I will strongly recommend to start with a big screen, and they are also giving 100% operation, everything good quality in iPad. So if you can afford an iPad, you can do with the iPad, or otherwise also for the beginners, I will recommend you to start with a big screen device. And yes, so they are mainly focusing into the communication difficulties of the children. Sorry, yes. It has a keyboard also. So according to the kids level, so if the child is in the picture level, we can customize. Customization is available in that. That is the most important feature it has. So if the child is in the picture level, you can work in the picture level. If the child is in the sentence level, you can work in the sentence level. Or if you want to teach the child to type and communicate, a type keyboard also available. And so all these things you can work it out. And I was using Avas for my child to communicate, and in school I was using Avas to handle Echolalia for many of my verbal children, and I got a good result. So the receptive, for improving the receptive language and to show them this is the way you have to answer. For that also Avas helped me. So for both verbal and non-verbal children, it helped me. Yes, I already explained about the slide importance of customization. Most of the things I already did. Yes, customization according to the kids' level of understanding, that is very, very important. If it is not there, that is why your child is not able to pick up. And a stimulating environment. Yes, all these things I did. Yes, consistency. That's what very, very important. So 2 times, 3 times you did. 4th time you may be lying down and you're thinking, oh, now I will give without exchanging this, without using the device. Then finished, all your work's gone. So if you are lying down, keep the system with you or keep the things with you. Consistency is something that is very important, that I can tell from my experience, because I was also not consistent, and then he was also not able to use that. But the moment when I started doing this consistently, then only he also picked up. So that is very, very important. And don't introduce too many things at a time. Start with 2 pictures, objects or pictures. Start with only 2, then more to 3, then more to 4. Build the communication. The child should be able to understand that, okay, this is the way to communicate. And if I am communicating like this, people are able to understand and my needs are getting addressed. That trust you have to build. So the child has that trust that everyone can understand. That trust you have to build and then slowly increase. All these things. Yes, if the child is not exposed to the gadgets, there are many parents who believe that if you are introducing gadgets to a child, finished. But that is a myth. We can use gadgets meaningfully for many things, but there should be a properly structured environment for the child in the home environment, so that the child will be occupied with various activities and he may not get time to get obsessed with the gadgets. When the child is getting lots of free time, then only they are going to the obsession. If the child is occupied properly during the day, then the child is not going to obsessed. So the communication system is something that you can't hide in the cupboard. It should be always available to the child. So if you are using that as a communication system, you can delete all the apps and you have to use only for this, and you have to make your child's day fully structured so that the child won't go to the obsession stage. And according to my understanding, of course, we have to use it first for child's need-based communication. And food items are the most easy way we can introduce it. our children have particular interest with the food, and from there we can start, and then more to different actions like swimming, horse riding, like that I did. But in this particular situation, I know that, but later you can try. But of course you can do water play, you can do different sensory plays, you can do different things, click click, and then add it to the system. That's all. And then going to different places, where everywhere when you are going, click the pictures and then add to the system. So like that, and then only it comes to emotions. That is, so when the child is able to move all these three areas, then you are ready to move to the emotions. How you will introduce emotion, how you will teach the child to express emotions, that is again one important uh, thing. So how we have to introduce this in the real time situation. When the child is happy, sit with the child, share the happiness with the child, talk about that, and then show your system and tell that now you are happy, mama also happy. When the child is sad, when the child is in a meltdown, don't try to talk with them. Let the child to calm down a little bit, then sit with the child and just give them a soft massage and just make them calm down, and then slowly try to talk them. And then, so I know that you are sad, mama also feeling sad, so like that you are showing in your system now you are sad. This is the way you have to express the emotions, and then slowly you can see that your child is coming up with a system to show that expressions to you. Yes, and their favorite music you can put, their personal information we can put, and we can use this awas to greet people, to send birthday messages. You can record the video how the child is communicate, how the child is wishing them to greet them for their special days, and they can send that message to them. So like that, when I did, all the family members were surprised and were asking, is he able to understand all these things? I told, yes. Non-verbal means he is, you people are thinking non-verbal means he is not able to understand. That's a myth. He can understand everything. He can understand your attitude. He can understand your looks. Everything he can understand. So, so like that only they got the idea that, oh, this child also can do all these things. And as I told, as doctor was explaining about his medals and all, the first time when I took him for a competition, I was not sure about he's going to enter into the ground. He is a child with very high level of anxiety. But I thought, okay, I will just take him and I will just give him the opportunity. I prepared him using all these visual schedules by preparing it in the hours. I prepared him and I took him. And he was able to do that, and he came with the medals, and I saw the happiness in his face. And then I understood that this child can relate to all these things. So he was teaching me that yes, I'm capable of doing. So what I did is I just gave him that experience. I was trying to give him different exposure. That is the only thing I did. I was not thinking that because of this he is not able to. I was not worrying about he will get a medal or he will win or lose. No worries about me, just participation. Just give him that experience. That only matters to me, and that helped him to move forward. And then using avas, we can teach them adjectives. As in the speech therapy session, what are the different things, as I explained earlier, all that things we can teach them using this app. And then typing also, I taught him using that. Yes, this is very, typing, everything I taught like that. And he started using many words. Clarity is not there, but he is very confident. He will come to us, he will look at our face and he will ask. And sometimes we won't be able to understand. And when Amma is not able to understand, then immediately he opened his avas. So that is an alternative system for him in the real sense. He is not dependent on that. AAC will prevent speech is a myth most of the parents believing, but that helped my child to improve his confidence level, to make reduce all the unwanted behaviors. Now, actually, I would like to share with you one thing, that I am in isolation because of COVID symptoms. And from last Wednesday, I started the symptoms, but we were not aware. By Saturday, doctor told I have to isolate. And Saturday, Sunday, suddenly I became in isolation. But I was not panicked. I was not worrying about him. I know that he will be able to manage that without me. He can communicate for his needs. Other people can understand, and he's not dependent on me. I was always careful about it. And when I told about this, everyone told how he will manage. I told he will manage. See, till today, everything was fine, and there was no touch wood, there was not a single meltdown in these days. He was able to communicate for his needs. He is able to follow his routine, his activities, everything with his dad and with his brother. So that all that things, I think this is the best thing I did for my son, to teach him how to communicate, so everyone is able to understand him and everyone is able to work with him. So that connection is not only with me now. He was communicating with people when we were traveling in the flight, when we were traveling in the train, in the flight, when the air hostess was coming with food and my elder son was asking something. Immediately this fellow opened Awas and I want juice, this apple juice, because he know that this person is going to serve food. So he bought. So we were surprised. And one child was sitting and playing with a ball. He was not crying. He was not running to the child to take it. He just opened his Awas and he was, I want ball. So that is the stage we reached, and he is going to post office for his jewelry things and all. He is doing, he is communicating there, and people were looking and surprising. And at last, there is a smile in their face that yes, this is also a different method of communication. There are some children like that, but they are also capable of doing all these things in all the restaurants, in all the public places. He is communicating like this. And yes, trying to give them lots of exposure, that is very, very important. And then only we can build the communication skills in a generalized way, find their strengths, work hard to improve their weak points. Always focus should be to their strengths, and use AAC in all places. Technology is something that is very important in this age, in this stage, and don't don't give a backseat to technology because you are thinking about as an obsession. You have to use it properly, that's all. And as I started, now also I'm telling mother is the best therapist and love is the best method. And empower yourself, understand about autism, understand about your child, take guidance from the right people. Don't try to cure autism, and understand that it is a condition, and try to help your child to improve that and learn different skills. And I have some videos of my child using Avas. If time is there, I can just play that. Sir, is it possible?
Yes, madam, we have 4 to 5 minutes. You can play the video.
Oh.
I want actions. Swimming. I want swimming.
I do want swimming.
I want food. Pavaka. I want pavaka.
Other one? Pavika. We'll make pavika.
Want actions. Rhymes. Flower song. I want flower song.
Other one flower song. Yeah? Yeah. Adu, today for outdoor activities, Adu want cycling or roller skating. Which one you want? Select.
Roller skates.
Oh, Adu want roller skating? Okay. What is your name?
About me. My name is Adwai.
Very good. Now show me your phone number.
My phone number is 9343726270.
Good boy. How many giraffes are here?
2.
That's right. How many lines are here?
3.
Very good.
B. U. S. Space. I. S. Space. B. I. G. Period. This is big.
I created a folder, talk about ball. I created a folder, talk about ball. So in this, I added some sentences and pictures like this. Now I'll show you how he is responding with this. Although we are going to talk about ball. Okay? Can you talk about ball? 3 sentences.
Ball is round.
Okay, then?
It is a blue ball.
Okay, very good. And then?
I like to ball is round. It is a blue ball. I like to play with ball.
Oh, wonderful, Adu. Superb. So I created another folder like this, and most of the words are commonly used words in his environment. So for the communication also, I'm trying to move him to the word level. So I created folders like this. Adu, show me the word chair.
Chair.
That's right. Next, show me the word water.
Water.
Wonderful. Show me the word gas stove. Gas stove.
Gas stove.
That's right. Show me the word sofa. Sofa.
Sofa.
That's right. Now, show me the word fridge. Adu.
Fridge.
That's right. And then show me the word shirt. Shirt.
Shirt.
That's right. Now show me the word bed.
Bed.
Good job. Now show me the word trousers. Trousers.
Trouser.
Wonderful. Show me the word juice, your favorite drink.
Juice.
That's right. Not now. Adu, what is this?
Trousers.
Very good. And then, what is this?
Chair.
You are sitting on the chair. I'm asking, what is this?
Shirt.
Shirt. That's right. Adu, what is this?
Chair.
That's right. What is this?
Water.
Wonderful. What is this?
Juice.
Superb. What is this?
Fridge.
That's great. What is this?
Trousers. Sofa.
That's right.
So these are the different stages I started. Now we came a long way. All these are my old videos because in this current situation I was not able to create a new PPT. So I was now he is typing very fast and he can type stories and all. So we came a long way with that. I was not able to include all that videos because of the health issues and all. So it really helped to reduce his anxiety. It really helped to improve our quality of life. When it started affecting our quality of life, then we'll think that autism is something that is really bad and that is something that really bad happened. So always you will think about the negativity because of your quality of life. So it is very important to for the self-care and to build the quality of life. That is also very important. If you are able to get a good quality of life, then you won't worry about autism. See, now also, everyone was asking, you have COVID, so you have to do that. Okay, one at a time. I will be able to come out of that. So till today, I have a headache, but I told 1 minute presentation. No, I can do that. I checked my oxygen level. Everything is fine. I sat here, and after 8th day also, headache is continuing. You have to go for the CT. Yeah, I will wait for 2 more days, and if it is continuing, I will go. And 2 days before, the breathlessness was there. Yes, it's there, but I immediately called the doctor, did the video consultation, did all the things what I'm supposed to do. That is what very important. If I'm getting panic and then nothing is going to work and we are searching for the hospital, it's not going to help us. So try to take things easily, do one at a time, be calm and try to do things like that. Then it is very easy for us to accept the children and to move forward. So that is what I want to share with you all, and I hope this talk will be helpful for you all. And thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this slot to present all these things, because I'm a parent who always try my best to reach out to more families. Because as a parent, we have to do that. We have to share that. Then I can touch more families and more children with autism. And that is something that gives me a lot of pleasure. And that is why in this situation also, I decided that I'm going to do this talk. And I hope it was helpful for you all. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for all the organizers.
Wonderful passion I see in you, madam, that despite of your health issues, you are there in front of us talking continuously for more than 45 minutes. And then there was not even a single patch where we felt that you're not well. So hats off to you, ma'am, for your dedication. Just to summarize the topic, we had a very insightful talk about AACs, which is not much more known to many people and many parents. You guided us with respect to the two types of AACs we use. One is the unaided AAC, another one is one aided AAC. In unaided, you mentioned about facilitated communication and sign language, but definitely it has its own limitations, and not many people in autism try to use ahead with the sign language thing, because again, it is very individualized and customized with respect to the child and its environment, that is the parent and the therapist itself. It doesn't get generalized that well with respect to the sign language therapy. And in the aided section, we talked about PECs, we talked about using devices and apps which are designed for enabling children to communicate. We also talk about speech generating devices. You also very well mentioned the difference between communication and speech, that parents should not just be behind the speech of the child, they should work on developing the communication in their children. And then we went on to seeing the details of the Avaz app and the PEC system, also their limitations. Wonderful presentation, madam. We have a few questions in the chat box. Before the questions in the chat box, I will just have one small query from the questions which we already had received for the topics. You mentioned, madam, that the verbal child can also get introduced with AACs. Now,
Yes.
over here, the question is, if a verbal child is being given AACs, wouldn't the dependency over the device become an obstruction and obstacle in the development of the child to develop the higher functions like orientation and thought process and stuff like that? Wouldn't it be a kind of a password protected communication for the child?
From my experience, I will tell that for verbal children also, when we are coming to the communication and the comprehension, they are the children who are more struggling other than non-verbal children. Non-verbal children have more comprehensive skills because only this part is working and they are not focusing into this. But when it comes to verbal children, most of the time, this part they have difficulty, and this is the part they are always trying to repeat or say something. And when we are looking into the comprehension, verbal children are really struggling to learn the concepts and to things like that. So if we are using an AAC for that, of course, it is helping. That is from my experience. For example, as I told, the prepositions and adjectives and all, when I was working with a non-verbal child, they picked up so fast the concept. When it comes to a verbal child, I saw that that child is really struggling when I'm trying to teach them. Then again, I'm introducing more visuals and in a different way, using different AAC. Then the child is getting that. So from my experience, that is an important tool for them also, and it is not affecting their language skills. It is really helping them to improve their language skills, but we have to use it in the right way. How we are introducing, how we are using with the child, that is very important.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I just missed out to mention Adi was amazing in those videos.
Thank you.
Yes, we have the next question, which says that does this app exist in any regional languages? Specifically, the question is for Marathi language.
Yes, I think it is in Marathi also.
Okay. We have a few questions in our comment box as well. Parents wish to know what should be their step, like whenever they're introducing any kind of an AAC, what steps they should go through, like what steps should be followed right from initiation to implementation of the AAC.
Okay, so as I told, we will start with only 2 pictures or 2 objects or 2 words, or we will start with only 2. And first, we have to teach the child. This is the way to communicate. I should find a communication partner and I should exchange this. Then the partner can understand and my needs will get addressed. So this is the first important step we have to achieve. And then we have to generalize it. Not only one communication partner, there are many people. All these are my communication partners with all of them. So inside the house we did, and then we have to use it outside and then with them also. So now we generalize that there are different communication partners and I can communicate with all of them. So, and as I told, I showed that in that step by step, started with the child's favorite things and try to give them different exposure so that you can come into different areas, different activities, songs, different type of sensory plays, all that things you have to introduce your child, click, and then move to that. So when the child is seeking for that, as in my absence, of course they may not be able to do the same way how I was working with him, so that he will come up with that, I want to do this now, I want to do that now, I don't want this. So that if we are building that step, for building that step, you have to give that exposure to the child and then work. And then only we are introducing emotion. That also I already explained in the right situation, how you can teach the child. And then add medicines. When the child is not well, when you are giving medicines, put that picture also. And then show them you have stomach pain. And so I'm giving this medicine. Explain to the child, talk with the child the way how you are talking with other people. Give them the same importance and give them the same respect and do all the things with them. Everything when you, in each opportunity, all the medicines, everything. I remember I used to do that. And when he is not well, he will come with the system and he will ask nebulizer. He also has breathing issue. So he will ask nebulizer, I want nebulizer. That means he is feeling some suffocation, I understood. And if he has some acidity issue, he will ask for the Ayurvedic remedy for that. All that things I put. So in the real-time situation, you have to show the item, you have to take the picture ad and show that this is there in your system. So like that, because your child already learned that this is the system and this is the communication partner and this is the process. Now, then you are adding only things, different things that are very important in their life, and you are just showing that your child, and your child will be able to use that in meaningfully.
Thank you so much, madam. I'll just take the last question. I missed out one question from the question box. A parent has written that her daughter is 6 years old. She's at the 2-word level. She's speaking 2 words. Her reception is very good, but why she cannot speak is an issue. She communicates non-verbally. Only speech is an issue. When she's in pain, she cannot say what is hurting. How can we address? Because she just cries. I'm sure this might be the problem with many parents, that the children do not, even though they have started becoming verbal, they do not communicate if there is kind of a hurt or a pain or kind of an injury or kind of something is wrong with them. They do not easily express it out. So your suggestions over it, man.
So as I told, pain, if we are on, if pain is something that comes little later. So first you have to introduce visuals for this need-based thing. So provide the visuals, more visuals for other things also, so that the child will understand. So you can prepare the visual charts for different things like this, and then introduce your child. You can use that picture cards in your language session when you are sitting with the child, when you are introducing the actions to the child, when you are teaching different things, concepts to the child. Use that visuals and keep that visuals that is available to the child. And you, in a situation like that, when the child is not able to express, use that visuals, so that the child will be able to pick up and show you what is the real issue. But to reach in that level, first you have to introduce a lot of visuals in all the daily life, if daily life activities. If the child is able to connect the visual to their activities, then the child will get the idea. So many times I surprise the way how he is coming up, because something that is not there in his system, then related to something that he will come and he will try to express that. He doesn't want that particular thing, but related to that something he wants. So like that, they will come to express in their own ways. To do that. For meltdowns and all, first we were not aware that something is really helping him. So he started asking me for a car ride. Then we understood that, okay, car ride is something that really helped him to calm down. So he was not able to communicate with me that I am facing lots of difficulty, or I have sad, I am angry, or I'm sad. But he was able to ask me what will help him to calm down. I felt that is very important. Even though if sometimes our children are really struggling to express that emotion, but we can train them to ask what will help them to settle down that problem. So that is something that I really achieved, and I think that is very important for all our children. If that emotion, if they are not able to express also, but they are able to express what will help them to calm down, that should be our focus. So that is why I told to add the things in the real-time situation and to use the visuals, so that the child will be able to pick up. Especially for verbal children, I know that parents won't use visuals that much because they will think, but with visuals, if you are training your child to talk, of course you can see the very good result.
Thank you so much, madam, for your answer. With this, I would just like to put an end to our session today, and also as it was the last session for the day, we would like to definitely end the meeting also. Before ending the meeting, I would like to thank all the speakers for today. I would like to thank you, madam. We hope for your speedy recovery, and thank you everybody to be on time, to be punctual, to be attending to us, for paying your attention, for paying your time to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Harshalya madam, is it good to end the meeting?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I mean, I wish you speedy recovery, and really grateful that in this situation also you have explained it very well.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, Harshali.
It was a nice session. It was a wonderful session, madam. And yes, hope you speedy recovery and take care of yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you. Harshalya madam, are we good to end the day?
Yes. Good night,
Thank you so much.
everyone.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.